Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I'm here to review a game for you. I have lived on this planet for almost 43 years now, and I've had many jobs, and one of the first jobs I ever had in my entire life, as a lot of young children had, I had a paper route. I would get done with school, I would go to the designated drop-off spot, which I always found really weird. It was like, literally there was a spot on the corner where the big newspaper truck would come and they just heave like giant bales of these newspapers out onto this corner, and then I would show up and with my wagon and my bike or whatever, and I would pick up these giant bundles, and there was nothing preventing anybody from just walking by and cutting the thing open and taking a newspaper out of it. And in matter of fact, a few times that actually happened, and then we had to make a phone call and get more delivered and what have you. But it just seemed like such a weird way to do things, if you will. I doubt they still do things like that, but I don't know, maybe they do. But anyway, so then I'd ride my bike, and on really cold days my mom would drive with her station wagon, and I would put newspapers on people's doors or inside their little mail slots and stuff like that. Anyway, so this game is called Paper Toss, and it is a game based on being a paper delivery boy or girl, if you will. And this is actually the whole idea of riding a bike and you're throwing the paper, just like that old video game that I loved a lot called Paperboy. But anyway, when I was contacted by the publisher and the designer, he said it's a really fun little family game, and he thought I'd have fun playing with my daughter. And Rylan and I actually have had a lot of fun playing this one. It is not the most deep game in the world. It is actually rather simple. It's got a lot of take that and just messing with other people, what they want to do kind of actions going on. But it does teach you hand management and kind of like plotting out what you want to do with your next turn and so on and so forth. And it's been fun watching my daughter play the game, like learn from her mistakes, play it again and learn and so forth, until she's actually playing it competitively against me, and we're actually able to have a good time playing it. And we've included mom and what have you. And it's for 2 to 4 people, and you should be able to play a game pretty quickly in about 10-15 minutes or so. So I'm going to show you how to play. It won't take long at all. We'll come back here. I'll probably just expound on what I just told you, and then we'll go from there. All right, cool. Well, how to play Paper Toss. Like paper toss. Okay, here are the 2 decks for the Paper Toss game, and these are all the cards you need. You do need a bunch of little gems or coins or something like that so you can keep track of your score. Your goal is to score 10 points, and that's by having 10 of those little coins or gems or what have you in your possession. And the first person to 10 just flat out wins the game. There's no extra turns or anything. So on the beginning of the game, each player will get 5 cards off the top of the paper deck. I'm just going to take 5 for me being the player, and we'll just assume the other players have 5 cards as well. And the youngest player goes first, as I said, and then on your turn, at the beginning of your turn, you look at your 5 cards, and so we have a Juicy Steak card that'll counter dog cards. We have a Paper Toss, and those are important because you need to have a Paper Toss card to be able to actually try to score points. We have a Trash Can, that's an obstacle we can play on somebody else's turn. We have a Wheelie that'll counter it's a trick which will counter a kid card if somebody puts that on us, and another Paper Toss. So I like these cards. I'm not going to discard any of these, but if I didn't have any Paper Toss cards, I might want to discard all my cards or whatever to get that. Maybe save like the Juicy Steak card or something like that. And at the beginning of your turn, if you don't have 5 cards, you do draw up to 5 cards or whatever. So at the beginning of your turn, I'm just going to do a quick turn. You say, okay, I have a Paper Toss card, so you play your Paper Toss card. Now, when you play your Paper Toss card, now anybody else around the table can play a hazard card to try to stop you from successfully delivering a paper. Now, it isn't, it's no time limit or anything like that. You just say who's going to play a card, and every person then takes their turn and whatever and sees they're going to. And you don't go around the table like, are you going to do one? Are you going to do one? Are you going to do one? You just, at this point, anybody can play one. But the whole thing is that if somebody plays one, nobody else can play an obstacle until you've countered that one or said, I'm not going to counter that one, because you can only actually have one obstacle. So if somebody said, okay, well, I'm going to counter that Paper Toss card by playing School Kids, because the School Kids are in your way, they go like that. So then I could say, okay, well, I have a wheelie card, so I'm going to play a wheelie. Now, you don't have to counter it, but I'm going to counter it. I don't want to have to deal with the school kids. So there, that's good. Well, now somebody might say, well, I have a Mangy Mutt card, so I'm going to play that. So they're blocking you with that. Maybe even the same person who played the school kids. They really want to have it out for me. So luckily enough, I had this Juicy Steak card. I play that, and I've countered that as well. And so hopefully nobody else plays anything, and nobody does. Everybody says, fine, whatever. We're not going to mess with it anymore. Now, in that case, then I get to draw the toss card off the top of the deck, and I get to see if I get lucky here. And so, I got a window. I broke a window. So I lose one paper token if that's the case. Now, luckily, I don't have any because it's the beginning of the game. But if, say, like I had 2 tokens, I'd have to return one back into the center there. Now, if let's just see what I got here. Let's see if we got good throw. That would be obviously we get a token. We take that and put it in our pile. Now, if somebody then played school kids, and then I didn't have anything left to counter, I just got a paper toss card, and I have trash cans, I can't do anything else. The person who played the hazard gets to draw 2 of these toss cards, and then they get to pick which one they give me. Well, this is actually bad luck for them, because they have good throw, which is +1, or they have perfect toss, which means, look, it went right into the person's hand that's just walking out the door, and that'd be worth 2. So in this case, they'd say, you don't get that one, but fine, I'll give you a good throw. And then, then you get that 1 token again, and you put that in your pile. There are some other things that can happen as you play. There's some other cards, too. If you had allowed to go by, you have an energy drink card, if you're going to turn over a toss card, you could play this, and if you do play that, then you get to turn over 2 yourself and pick 2. So if that was the case, you'd have here, well, that's 2 good throw cards, but so you'd pick 1 and you'd take, once again, just take the 1 or whatever. There are some other cards too that you just can't defend against, which kind of stink, but if you have a flat tire card, the person you just played on somebody, they skip their next turn, which always, of course, stinks. And then there's just the bully. You can't block the bully. One player loses 2 paper tokens. But there you go. That's the entire game. Next person goes around the table. They do the same thing. People try to counter what they do. And then the next person goes, and so on and so forth, until somebody finally gets those 10 points. There's not a lot to it, but I do like the art. I do think it's pretty, it's got real simple rules that my daughter and my family catch on to really quickly, and it's a heck of a lot of fun too. But let me go say a little bit more about that in my conclusion. Well, there you go. I told you it wouldn't take long to teach you how to play that one. It is, as I said, a very quick game. It is a total family-orientated type game. And my daughter and I have had actually a lot of fun with it. It's just, it's one of those things where seeing the gleam in her eye when she plays a bully card on me or something like that, and she's getting excited to mess with me, or a flat tire card, is really it's one of those things where it's just I kind of live for that moment when playing games with my kids. And I really can't wait till my son is finally old enough to kind of catch on to those games. There's a few games that he plays, but I'm really glad that I have something like this that when he turns 4 or 5, and I think he can kind of grasp the game, which is I think they're around the age that you're looking at. I think the actual game he says is ages 5 and up. To really enjoy the kind of aspect of messing with each other and the glory of triumph, if you will. Now, I don't think this game is going to be something that big-time serious gamers are going to want to play, but like I said, I don't think that's what we're geared towards. We are geared towards a very light, family-friendly game where, people are going to learn, and I think this is a very important thing to learn, that, you're not going to win all the time. And I think I'm not going to go too much into the whole process of being a good loser or anything like that, but I have tried to teach my daughter, and she's learned very well that she can't win the game every single time. And I don't throw games for her. I might not be as draconian, if you will, when I play her as compared to my gaming group, but I do let her lose, and I let her lose gracefully. And because when she does pull out the win and get the 10 papers delivered, or the 10 points for the papers delivered before me, she can really feel like she earned it. And this is one of those perfect games where There's enough rules to make it challenging for a younger group, but and by the same token, it's challenging enough so when they do have a victory, it really feels good for them. And nothing has made me happier knowing that, one, my daughter has requested to play this game just because, like I said, she really enjoys giving me a flat tire card or a bully card, to mess with me right when I'm on the cusp of winning. And two, it's like the look on my daughter's face, the smile on her face when she realizes that she's won. When she looks at her cards and realizes that she's going to be able to play the right ones that are going to allow her to deliver a paper and most likely draw a card that's going to give her the win. That look on her eye, if I could somehow bottle that and play that in front of me anytime I'm having a bad day, that would pretty much cure that for me anytime I want it. So for that experience alone, I can't recommend Paper Toss enough. If you are looking for a game to play with your children and like just that weird kind of tweener age of 5 to 9 or something like that, I think this is an excellent game, and I think it is an excellent family game as well. So check it out. Check out the game. Check out the Kickstarter, and if you think it's something that you think you'd enjoy with that later group or your family, I definitely recommend getting a copy of it. So once it's published, you can play the game yourself. All right, cool. Well, if you have any questions about it, by all means, post those. I greatly thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch this video. And until we meet again, have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye now.